Alright, hello. Okay, so I honestly have been paying no attention to the main SunPy repo over the last week. I've been too busy trying to write this workshop for this week and my talk that I gave on Friday. It's really good on Friday. I went to an RAS meeting in London and asked people at the start of a talk about SunPy how many people had used Python, and about half the room put their hands up, which made me very happy.
That's good.
Was that the automated feature detection workshop?
Yes.
And how was that?
It was okay. It was. There was only one talk that was like purely on a method, and the others.
What were the other talks on?
I did a SunPy talk.
They were Carpita, they were Larissa from NOAA about coronal holes and dimmings.
There was a couple of coronal hole talks.
They were another one about coronal holes.
Larissa came over for that?
Yes, she came for that and for a talk at MSL.
Okay.
And I think, I don't know if she was also related with because the Royal Seminar Society was celebrating the 100 years of the woman. First woman. So I don't know whether there were something related to that.
Is this like Silkwork Light?
Kind of. No, it's not quite as good.
Steve's
It's a
back.
Steve. A wild Steve appeared.
Happy New Year, Steve. He closed it.
Nope, there's no Steve. There's just a pinboard.
Steve! Now everyone, Steve! What did I realize?
It's the
Alan!
this is going to get so many views on YouTube, this video.
Yeah. Just a bunch of people yelling, Steve!
Hi, everyone.
Hey, finally!
What is going on here?
Look what I found.
Not much, to be honest.
David!
Okay.
So,
Has anyone done anything on Unidown in the past 7 days?
No, I have not.
Fortunately not.
Sud K, 1897.
This could be a very short meeting.
It's just, we've got quite a lot of
I
people
have
here,
things
and this
to
could
discuss.
burn out in moments, I think.
Yeah,
It is Tuesday, so.
which is very
The
rare.
main thing that pull request 1623 needs is there are 2 doc warnings that need fixing. We could just merge it, and then I could fix it. So that looks like a lot of commits. That looks like too many commits. Oh, he seems to have merged the master into that.
Yeah.
Scroll down.
No.
Yeah, they are. He's merged master in there, so that's okay.
So I have a problem. So I don't know if you've seen the 2 newest pull requests, which is to do with the new SunPy. What's it called?
Helpers. SunPy helpers.
SunPy helpers and SunPy CI helpers.
CI helpers.
Yeah. So while doing that, I found out that we've been testing wrongly over the last, I don't know how much time, with the NumPy versions. So at the moment, all the tests, as it is now, is always tested with the latest version of NumPy. But we were thinking that we were doing with the 1.9 and 1.8. So if you remember, there have been some times where we have to change the hash of the figures and all the tests are broken because the hash of the figures were different without explanation. That was to do because I think Travis was getting a newer version of NumPy, and it seems for some unexplicable reason that I haven't figured out yet, a new version of NumPy updates or makes the hash change. So For the new pull request I'm doing, I now that will test properly on the different on the different NumPy versions that we want to do. But we will need different hashes for different versions, and I don't know how to do that. I don't know. Well, I don't know what we should do.
Have you actually got that happening?
What?
Different hashes for different versions?
There are different hashes for different versions, yeah.
Is there any visible difference in the files?
I haven't checked. I just checked that. So when I managed to run it with the version that we were thinking, the hash is the same one that that used to be on the last time we changed the hash, and so those hashes are the same, and that is roughly when the NumPy version, like maybe a week after that NumPy version was released. So it's probably the time that Conda updated their repository.
That's that.
Yeah, no, you have to do before.
So the hash dictionary is just going to have to become more complex then, right?
Either that or we only do the figure tests on the latest version of NumPy.
Yeah.
And latest means the version,
1.10.
but the version which is supplied by Conda.
Yeah.
Or we have some way to compare the different versions of hash. But
I don't necessarily think that that's needed. I still remember.
yeah, I think it will be. We could do some test where that figures are just checked with a particular version. It doesn't need to be the last one because we can.
Yeah, it's true. We could just fix the version.
We can just say, okay, for this test, just run it with this particular version, and that's it.
I don't understand why NumPy version would change the figure hashing.
Well, if I have time, I will look into it. But
They're changing their default color tables, so that could be breaking things.
That's map.lib though. It's NumPy.
It's NumPy.
It's NumPy version that's shifting.
Oh.
Also, we shouldn't be using a default color map anywhere then. But that's 2.0 anyway, so that hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah, true.
okay, so I will then. What I will do is just change the test just to check with a particular version.
You might as well just create a separate entry in the test entry.
Yeah, but
just does the figure tests.
Yeah, which just this.
And
Yes.
has the fixed NumPy version.
Yeah, we just fixed
And
NumPy
you could
version.
put it would be a good idea to put a check in the. To encode the versions of NumPy, the versions of NumPy and Map.lib.
In the files.
In
the hash.
Not in the hash, but in the.
Commit of the hash.
Well, no, in the test runner for the figure test. You know, we've got the mark for the figure test.
Yeah.
So that if you run the figure tests, it validates your version of NumPy and Map.lib. And if you don't have the right version of NumPy Map.lib, it skips the figure tests.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, because otherwise, if someone clones SunPy but has a valid version of NumPy and Map.lib and runs the figure tests, it'll error form when it shouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference for Travis. I'm just thinking if someone clones the repo and then runs the test.
Okay.
Looks like we find something to do.
Yeah, that was one problem, and the other problem I found with the new version of SunPy helpers, it's that they just crash. Just crash. And I haven't found out why.
Oh, yeah.
It seems to do something with the C API of NumPy.
Not the test runner. Interesting. So I know they updated the test runner in 1.1. I'm expecting
I
problems.
think I may have advocated this before, but wouldn't it be a little bit easier, instead of getting stuck with these figure hashes all the time, to turn them into warnings as opposed to failures, and then make it really, in the warning, provide a really easy way to compare, to look at the old figure and the new figure, or something like that?
There are the current figure tests that we have is far from optimum. The downside, I mean, the easy solution is that we just stick the actual PNG files in the repo and use the PyTest extension that Tom Robitaille wrote, because that has a small tolerance for small changes to the figure and break less often, and then we'll have versioned figures, which means we could do the comparison better.
Well, I
But the
would say
reason we didn't
not
do
to
this
put it-
originally was we have to have the PNG files in the repo.
Well, now that they have, well, I would say, okay, let's put the PNG files in another repo,
Like with the data.
because there's no reason why somebody needs to download those figures if they're just going to use SunPy.
Yeah, we could submodule it,
Yeah.
but that does come with its own problems.
I mean, you can have why not have the figure hash, do what we're doing now, have the figure hash where we have them, issue a warning, and then if you want to compare, it goes out and it gives you the link to the figure on GitHub, the old figure, and it creates the new figure for you, and then you can look at the two.
Yeah,
Right?
I think it should still error, but there should definitely be a better way of determining whether it's a real failure or just something silly's happened.
I don't know whether because just to see
If it's not an error, then we'll miss one when it actually breaks.
Yeah, but this test has found false positives more often than anything else.
Yeah,
We're
but
wasting more time on false positives than it has actually found.
well,
know,
but
bad
you see,
changes
those
to
false
figures.
positives were actually because our Travis was wrong. We were using the different NumPy version that we were thinking we were using, so we were not doing the proper testing as we thought. And that failures were telling us that there was something wrong. We were just updating the hashes, and we were not saying why it was happening. So now that we have found that that's a problem, the NumPy version, so we can just put it as a different test, and we know that when that file is because the figure have changed, not because we are testing something different. I mean, it has been a long way till we found that problem, but now it's done. So.
Yeah, the testing has done its job. It's just revealed an error that it wasn't
We
designed
chose to
for.
ignore.
Yeah,
No,
maybe
but it was designed. It was designed to look for. We've changed SunPy code and we've messed up our figures, but it's uncovered a different error.
Yeah, but we don't. Yeah, right. But we don't actually know what the error is. We just know what's causing it.
Yeah,
So-
I agree. There should be a better way of diagnosing whether the figure has actually changed a significant amount or not. But that we've said this ever since we implemented the first version of this code. There needs to be a better way of checking the results of this.
Yeah. Well, I
we
think
should have.
the first step should be that we have the PNGs in a different repo and they're
Yes.
stored, and you can easily refer to them.
That's fine. But you'll have to modify the figure
Sure.
tester so that it saves the PNGs and hashes them at the same time, and then submodule it into SunPy. I agree with you. Someone just needs to do it.
No. I'm not saying you don't need to. I think you need to.
Is no one else left in the office? Okay, I'll run down and grab 'em. I'll be.
Okay, still have to leave.
The figure hash can still be the main thing that you're testing with, but that way you have a reference. It doesn't need to be part of the library. It could just.
Yeah. We should have this figure saved somewhere and be able to check the different hashes what it changed. Yeah, probably we could have a GitHub repository, and each version or each time this hash change, we create a new version, and then in GitHub you can compare the different versions with the different GitHub things that they have in the GUI, like the onion or the thing for the images.
Yeah, but I will still suggest that this feature is broken enough that it should be issuing warnings and not failures, because we're essentially working with something that's.
No, the problem is like at the moment it tests with all the different versions and all the stuff. If we have that in a single separated test run, like we have the online and as we have the documentation, if we have that one separated, it will be easier to diagnose and actually. Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
It won't. Yeah, this is going to be the YouTube most watched video of SunPy.
I just tried to kill David with a picture frame in an Amazon box.
Did you guys have like a wine reception at the end of this?
No, not today.
Okay, all right.
It's like Christmas come early.
Yeah, so if it's separated, I think it won't be so annoying as it now, because now it's failing all the tests. But if we have separated that in a different test module, then it will be easier too.
But I still feel like this is sunk cost. You guys are sticking with the system because we spent all this time developing it, but it's actually not providing very much useful functionality right now. So
it is still doing its job. If the figures were to change, it would break.
Maybe 1 out of 10 times it actually told us something useful.
Yeah,
9
but
out of 10 times it just failed.
Well, that's because
we did this thing wrong.
in all the time we've been running it, we also haven't modified any of the plotting code or anything that would change the plotting code.
That's not
true.
Well, all right, you have, but you've actually done its job. You know, it hasn't found an error because there hasn't been an error. It's not like it isn't working. It's just also spewing.
Failing all the time. Causing us
but it's
trouble.
not because the code or the technique. It's just because the testing we were running it wrong. We were thinking that we were running a different NumPy version when it was not. So the problem was on Travis when we were setting the versions to run the code, and NumPy was in all of them updated to the latest one. And that was the problem. Now that's found.
You've solved this problem this one time. That's fine, but there'll be more. I guarantee.
I agree. Like, all version updates can break this. This is always going to be the problem with this. Any matplotlib, libpng, or anything version upgrade can break this.
Yeah.
And I'm not disagreeing with you that we need a way of checking. Someone just needs to implement it. This has been an outstanding issue since we implemented this the first time. We're massively underpowered here, and it's one of the many things that someone needs to get around to doing.
Right. But I still think we should convert it to warnings because it's causing all kinds of...
let's see what happens when we change where we do a fixed version build and add the package versioning in. Because if we add package versioning in so that it only ever runs the figure test with fixed versions of the dependencies, we will get around this problem, at least on Travis.
Okay, and let's put the figures in a repo somewhere so we can easily...
If you want to go put the figures in a repo and modify the code so it puts the figures in a repo, that would be great. Please do. It'd be awesome.
Okay. Well, the first thing I'll do is I'll create an issue.
I think there already is one, to be fair. I think there is some kind of issue for doing this. Like, there's an open-ended issue of we need to do this somehow, so you should find it.
And do this right. Oh, yeah. Figure tests need a way of displaying the figures.
We need to fix AstroPy helpers as well.
Yeah, so that will be, so hopefully the fix of that will make it more robust.
Yeah, so I don't know whether people have looked at...
And at the same time, I'm using this thing which is called, so I'm trying to change the way that we are using Travis by a package in AstroPy which is called AstroPy CI helpers, which is kind of a simple way to configure all the Travis and the different runs and stuff.
It also means in the way that the CI helpers works is that it's cloned at the beginning of the Travis helper build, and then it uses that. So none of the configure scripts for any of the continuous integration lives in SunPy anymore. It's in a separate AstroPy repo, so it can be updated independently of the source code. So if we update the continuous integration build, it'll update for all the branches at once. And stuff like that. If anyone's interested, it's probably linked out of David's PR, which is PR number something or the other.
$16.27.
1629.
1629, yeah.
1627. It's updating the AstroPy helpers, which is a different helpers.
Yeah, there's two separate. We've got to update AstroPy helpers to 1.1, and the CI helpers are a separate thing.
So this change breaks Travis?
Well, the thing is that while I was doing that, I found out that all the NumPy was wrong. So yeah, I will fix first the
It's Travis errors all the way down.
and then I will update to SunPy helpers, which it has other different problems with the way SunPy is installed.
So are we going to be able, is anything going to pass CI until these kind of higher level changes are implemented?
No, everything that is parallel to pull requests, everything should pass okay. But remember that the NumPy version that we are testing are not the one that we think
we're testing here.
So we are just testing over 1.10.
I think that change was probably introduced when they changed the way that Condo versions NumPy. So that was it's probably been like that for a month or two.
No, it's been more than a month. We've been fighting with the hash for the last.
No. It's. I mean, the update. Oh no, it might have been doing it before. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay, we done with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's we got? All less buttons. Yeah, it's just more pokes that someone needs to find some time to work on Unidown. I don't suppose Dan has found any time to work on Light Curve in the middle of his multiple relocations.
Not this time, no. I have to be brutally honest. I would like to, but this week, maybe. Depends how much time it actually takes me to like get all the admin stuff sorted out here. It might take just one day. It might take 5.
Fair enough.
Where do we store the, what are they called? The figure.
The what?
Figure test.
So the figure hashes are stored in SunPy tests
Hash.
figure underscore hashes.json.
Yes.
The actual, then there's the whole magic with the hashing is in hash.py,
I see.
which is what Albert wrote. So that hash.py would need modifying to save a copy of the PNG into the Git submodule inside SunPy.
Yeah. Okay.
Which would need to check whether the submodule was initialized and initialize it if it wasn't. You could probably borrow that code from AstroPy helpers because that's how AstroPy helpers works.
But we want to be able to commit to it, right? So.
No, do you want Travis to commit to it? No.
No. You only want it to. You only want it to. It's the only time you want it to write the PNGs to the directory is when it updates the figure hashes file. So the only time it writes a new figure hashes file is if the figure hashes file has been removed. So you just want to modify the bit where it writes a new figure hashes file to also save the PNGs to a given directory as long as that Git submodule has been initialized.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to do any commit or anything from inside the script. You just want to leave it there. And then if the user commits the figure hashes, they commit the changes to the submodule as well.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not convinced that having a submodule is the way to do this, but let me play around.
How else are you going to get it into a separate Git repo?
It could just create a directory, and then it's up to the user to.
Yeah, I suppose you do that too. You can, where you create a temporary.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that. Also, you should also modify it so that if the tests fails, it saves out temporary PNGs that you can compare to the last reference version.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, please uni down. This also to me as well. I should also uni down.
Is it now a verb? To uni down?
Yes, to uni down.
Alex, what happened to your code, where's the... That has not been absorbed into SunPy, has it? Or does that always sit by itself?
Well, it was going to be an additional module, wasn't it? A SunPy affiliated package. And there's really just, I need to do some sanding around the edges to get it to be sort of to the standard that I think we need. But it's there, it's functional as is. I need to potentially also do a bit more documentation. I've done some examples, but to be honest, I haven't really worked on it a lot over the last month or so, couple of months.
Okay.
But yeah, it's this is where I got to talk to Stuart at some point to sort of get a direction and get my priorities straight on it.
Yeah, I think we had a question asking about what you were working on a couple of weeks ago. Is that right? Anyone else remember that?
What?
Just see now.
You mean on the mailing list or something?
Yeah.
Don't remember.
Can't say I've noticed anything, but equally I'm not necessarily sure. Things come into a lot of different mailboxes, and SunPy hasn't been something I've been keeping too much track on over Christmas.
All right.
Anyone got anything else? Anything specific they want to talk about?
Not right now.
That might be an early ending.
Early? It's 20 to 6
20 to 7, man.
Quite early.
for you.
Yeah.
Are you fixing solar monitor?
Actually, I'm going to drop out at this point, guys. If you want to keep going, because I've got there's several things to do before I leave tonight.
Fair enough. Have fun.
Okay.
All right. See you guys.
See you then.
All right. See you.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything outstanding. Is there that needs
Review.
Oh yeah, what is happening with that? Is there anything specific that needs? Yeah, Steve, what's happening with your pull request 1597?
1597.
Is the Ghost X player class.
Oh, okay, yes. Now that, since we have everybody on the phone, I do not understand what, David, you're talking about.
When now?
This.
Oh, the comments is that you have the dictionary as with numbers and then letters. I will either put the other way around. The keyword
Well,
will be the letter.
It doesn't matter. They do both. Right?
I know it doesn't matter. It looks weird. Say Gauss conversion dict square brackets -4. It just, I don't know. It looks weird to me. It's not that it's wrong.
Well, it's because it's defined that way, right?
Sure,
Yeah, I know, but it
Flex
could be defined.
is defined as being X, as opposed to X being defined as a flex. I don't know. So you're right. It does look a little weird, and
it is not a. I mean, as I say, it's just a how to read the code that it just looks weird. If then it's used.
yeah. So, okay, well, I'll consider...
I'm not suggesting to change. I'm not saying that we have to change it. I was just making the point that it looks, if you call to the dictionary with the -4, it's not. It could look like as a list that you're taking the last 4 element.
Yeah. Okay, I'll see what I can do.
If you replace the things in the dictionary with actual quantities, it would make some of the logic later on easier, or at least less weird.
Oh, that's a good point.
Like where you calculate the power,
Mm-hmm.
or where the power is calculated, on like line 1358 on the pull request.
Yeah.
You calculate the rounded down exponent and then do ifs on that. But you could do it with ifs on. You could do it using actual full-blown quantities, and then you wouldn't have to do the conversions and the value extraction and stuff. You could just do comparisons on quantities.
That's a good point. Okay. So yeah, I'll take that into account. The one thing that is an open issue that I haven't had time to do is to find where the other one is used and delete that one. So the other functionality. That's the last opening. Like, you know, we don't. In this pull request, I'd like to remove the other functionality. We had this functionality twice in SunPy already. It's not like I added a second one. I was just fixing the second one.
Yeah.
I should remove the other one as well. I just haven't had a chance to do that. So that's where this currently stands. I'm hoping I can finish it up this week.
It also needs master merging into it because it's got a conflict.
Yeah.
I need to finish up my meta class pull request. There's just a few silly documentation changes that I still haven't got around to doing because I forgot all about it.
There's we should update the meta SCP as well then, if you're working on an implementation of meta.
No, this is the meta class stuff for map, not the meta class as in metadata.
The meta class for map?
Remember the stuff with the meta classes and the classes that create classes?
Oh, yes, okay.
And that hangout where I bent everyone's brains?
Yes, the other meta.
Jack's holding his head in his hand. God, no, not meta classes again.
I missed that, I think.
It was a good one. It was good. It was good. There was much confusion in my mind as well as everyone else's. It was good. It was solid. I was trying to explain stuff or something that I didn't really understand to everyone else. It was a giggle.
As today?
As today, yes. All right then. Well,
so I still have a question about these figures.
No, yeah, okay then.
We're not. How is anything going to get accepted?
When?
Ever.
I just sent I changed one character in a comment, and all the hashes have failed. Are you saying I need to run NumPy 1.8, generate the figure hashes, and then upload that?
No. No, Travis. So at the moment, Travis it has 1.10.
Right.
In theory, Jack, it shouldn't
matter. So I don't know which pull request are you doing? That you say
mask for SuperPixel just failed.
SuperPixel, and it's because.
It's because of the. It's because of the oh shoot! The hashes are different. So do I need to recalculate hashes?
No, but that shouldn't have any. Because I haven't changed yet. So till the moment everything was running properly. Till I tried to change the thing.
It sharpened itself again.
So.
Okay, so maybe I just.
9, 6.
It's fine.
Okay, I will check how is the hashes and all the stuff, and then we will see.
If it's just if your pull request is failing because just the figure hashes, we will just merge it because it's not your fault. Like, we do this with the online test books and stuff. Like,
Well, this PR does change a hash, but like I don't know if it's due to this NumPy error or it's like does my local NumPy version have?
I think that the right way to go is I fix that with, and I know which NumPy version it's been tested the hashes, and then we can rerun those tests.
Okay.
Have you? What pull request is this?
1606.
1606 master. Yeah, well, you does it change your plot? Are you plotting somewhere? Yeah, you are.
I am.
But you haven't. Oh, I see. I get what your question is now. Yeah, okay. You haven't added your plot. You haven't added the hash for your plot.
Oh, I haven't. Oh, okay. Add hash for plot. And
so you should, yeah, you will have to you'll actually have to remake all the hashes and see whether they work or not on Travis.
Oh, so that's my job now. Oh, fantastic.
Well, there's no way to remake the hashes for just one thing at a time. You just remake all the hashes.
Okay, I will do that.
So do that and push it, and we'll see what happens. And if it doesn't work, then we'll fix it in master first, and then you can deal with it afterwards. I would make sure that when you create the hashes, you create the hashes with the latest version of NumPy and Matplotlib.
Okay.
So just make sure you do an update first, basically.
I will update Conda to the freshest.
The freshest, juiciest of condas.
Yes. Okay, I have no further comments.
Okay. Any more for any more? Cool. Well, have a fantastic week.
It's okay. It's very upbeat.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks
We're
very
going to
much.
have a very tiring week teaching everybody
Yes.
about Python.
Yeah, no. It's great. What's the age of the oldest person there?
The oldest age? Well, there's two. So there's this guy who looks quite senior. He's an astro.
Just a PhD student, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's two. How do you call it? Mature students, PhD students. That's how it's called, right?
Yes, we're mature students.
Oh yes, Alex. No, they actually look older than you.
Thanks.
Oh man.
I think they're above 40.
Right.
Alex, are you above 40, right?
No, I'm 30, 31. Thank you very much.
We've got no video on, you see. We can't tell.
That's true. I don't want to show everybody, I said, the mess in this room and also the boats sitting behind me, which looks a bit odd.
The boat.
Yeah, I bought myself a new boat, so little kayak.
In case you get more floods, you could just paddle out your window.
Global warming, it's becoming a problem.
Be prepared.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, all right. Well, I think it's time to call it on this particularly crazy hangout.
Yeah.